Mm. Venga, vamos, vamos. Blue Point. Hola a todos, gracias por pasaros por aquí. Como podéis ver, vamos a jugar a Metal Gear Solid 3. Tenía un montonazo de ganas. Vamos allá.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Este es el inicio de Metal Gear. Este juego creo que es el primero cronológicamente. Creo, ¿eh? No sé si estoy equivocado. Espero haber adaptado el sonido. Si no, tendré que bajarlo un poquito. Dave the Hater. Qué ganas tenía de jugar a este, tío. Tenía un montón de ganas.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
Pakistán, ¿no?
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
Hostia, salgo con la máscara de Raiden, tío. Con la cara de Raiden. Porque he puesto que me ha gustado el Metal Gear 2. Me cago en la
Does this
puta.
pantywaist know what he's doing?
Fumándose un puro ahí, ¿eh?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Luego no lo podremos quitar, seguramente. Bueno, seguramente no. Te lo puedes quitar.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout bottle.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
Primer salto. Ojo.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings.
And fly. God be with you.
Es una flipada, tío. Es una flipada. Que son unos flipados, tío.
Jack,
Cool,
I've
mola.
got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, A certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why'd he want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
Kilómetros en 2 semanas.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba. And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust.
¿Cómo mezclan,
But in order to get the
o sea,
Soviets
conceptos,
to pull their
o sea,
missiles out,
temas históricos
we had to
reales?
make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
Oh, mola, tío.
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handed him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Hay que sacar a este tío de ahí. En este juego creo que en algunos momentos puedes pulsar R1 o L1. Ahora mismo no puedo nada.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
La mayoría de veces le reúnes para verle el escote a Eva que sale, ¿sabes? Para verle las tetas y eso, ¿no?
Once we've confirmed the
Tetas y
rescue of
culos.
Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Sistema Fulton.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Ya te digo. Como mola, tío. Ese aterrizaje ahí. Se nota que es inexperto aún. Se podría haber pegado una hostia. Madre mía. Cómo se la ha jugado, eh. Nos vamos a quitar la cara de Raiden ya. A la que pueda, vamos. Vaya pinticas, eh. Vale, gente, entiendo que no puedo, aún no me puedo cambiar el camuflaje, por lo tanto no me puedo quitar este gueto, ¿vale? Pero entiendo que más adelante sí, como no pueda me voy a cagar en todo. Soy capaz de volver a empezar el juego. Vale, a ver, tenemos que ir a por la mochilita que se nos ha quedado. A ver si... Buah, es que no me acuerdo de los controles. La mochila se nos ha quedado en un árbol. A ver. Iremos explorando, voy a ir sin ninguna prisa. Porque, a ver, el juego no es... El juego no es totalmente lineal. Tampoco es un mundo abierto como tal, pero... Pero bueno, tiene su exploración y voy a intentar... Voy a intentar ver todo lo que pueda. Llamadita, cuidado. Para decirnos que nos agachemos.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
Major Tom.
Oh, and Snake.
Yeah.
The crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
Sí, por
Good
favor.
idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin.
Míralo, míralo que bien traído. Vale. Sí, por favor, gracias. Con toda la careta, tío. Ahora sí. Ahora sí. ¿Qué hace el pavo? ¿Está bien este hombre o qué le pasa? Ya vamos con radio, ya no tenemos el code que
Can you
se...
hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the
Joder.
subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Venga, va, déjame en paz ya. Creo que el micro este no capta bien los eructos, tío, porque a veces me tiro alguno y no... Y luego no se oyen. Vale, por aquí. Dice el notas que ha visto... Ah, vale, vale, va. Oh, mola, tío. Vale, perfecto. Tenemos la mochilita, ¿eh? Venga, otra llamadita. Oye, que la he cogido al final.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left.
¿Ha dicho
From
mochila?
that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button.
O me he flipado
For
ya.
other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna.
Eso es
You can use
importante,
either
en
your
verdad.
tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo
Bueno, a ver.
covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose.
Hostia, verdad.
SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Ah, vamos.
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't
Sí,
you?
pues mira mi serpiente.
A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
Madre mía,
You've
estás un poco
lost
enfermo,
weight.
¿no?
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake? Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Verás tú la que vamos a liar.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Ojo, ojo que se viene arriba, cuidado. Venga. Bueno.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Vale, ojito que tenemos aquí a Snake motivadísimo, A ver, tema de controles, vale. Muerte falsa, Detector, sonar. Vale, aquí las armas, micrófono direccional. Vale. Tema de... A ver. Tema de disparo. Vale. Si suelto poco a poco... acabo disparando, me cago en Dios. Vale, el tema de apuntado, ¿cómo va? Vale, esto es para pegar. Vale, para agacharme. ¿Y cómo cojones apunto? Ah, vale, vale, ok. Vale, es como el Metal Gear 2, igual. Lo único que el tema de una vez que apuntas con el arma, soltar despacio para no llegar a disparar es un poco... Es un poco jodido. ¿Es por aquí ya directamente? Sí. Zona pantanosa de Dremuchig. No sé si lo he pronunciado bien. Vamos a ir tranquilitos. Como mola, tío. Hacía tanto que no jugaba este juego, tío. Pero tiempo, ¿eh? Vale, la barra de energía, vale, son esa, la barra más delgada. Lo voy a jugar en modo normal, pero que no se me complique mucho el tema. A ver, ojo, ¿eh? Cocodrilos. Vale, si nos mantenemos en esta zona, así como pantanosa, nos hundiremos, porque son arenas movedizas. Vale, sé que hay que tener mucho cuidado. Y claro, aquí los amigos están aquí bien colocados, que es por donde tenemos que pasar. Es que mirar qué guapada, tío. A ver, mapa. Esto es el códec. Mochila, comidas, opciones, mapa. Vale, vamos a ver. Vale, se nos va abriendo a medida que avanzamos, ok. Vale, pues por lo que veo tenemos... Eso no sé si es un camino, eso de la izquierda. Allí sí que hay uno. Y por aquí parece que se puede ir... Vale, cuidadito. Es que me voy a ir hundiendo, tío. Me voy hundiendo, me voy hundiendo. Me voy hundiendo y tengo aquí almenda. Cuidadito, eh. Cuidadito porque nos pegará coletazo. ¿Puedo atacarle solo con el cuchillo, tío? A ver. Es que claro. Nos está, vamos, nos tienen filados. Y encima ahí hay algo para coger, ¿eh? Bueno, nos va a pegar un viaje. ¿Le puedo dar? Cuidadito. Cuidadito, cuidadito, ¿eh? Corre, pasa. Vale, 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 vale. Corre, 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 corre. Que no sé qué he cogido. ¿Qué he cogido? A ver, he cogido un arma, ¿puede ser? Mochila. Arma, cuchillo de supervivencia, MK22, micrófono, objeto. Eh, ¿Cómo? Hostia, gente, pues no sé qué es lo que he cogido, ¿eh? Vale, cuidadito. Espera, pasamos corriendo. ¿Por aquí puedo ir? Mira, por aquí puedo ir. A ver dónde me lleva esto. Es que lo quiero explorar todo. Mira, una serpiente, tío. Vamos a pegarle un viaje a la serpiente. No, no, no te vayas. ¿Dónde está? No te vayas, no te vayas. No te vayas. Cuidado que viene. Vale, de puta madre. Vale, genial. ¿Y qué cojones hemos cogido, tío? Con los cocodrilos. Ojo, esto nos lleva... Bueno, vamos a ver qué hay. Norte de Dremuchig. ¿A qué era este el camino por donde teníamos que ir? Tócate los huevos.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Vale,
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law.
Sí,
We
me
can't let
acuerdo
the
que me lo has dicho.
Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face
¿Verdad? Esto es
paint.
importante y no
Choosing
lo he mirado.
camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed.
Igualmente va a ser difícil, que no nos
You
vean.
can see
O
how
sea,
effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa.
vale.
The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Ok, me ha quedado claro. Vale, a ver, camuflaje. Uniforme. Más 20, más 30. Vale. Este es el que más nos da. Entiendo. Vale, este es el que más nos da, ¿eh? Y luego la cara. Esta nos da... Vale, perfecto. Vale, de carnaval. Vale, igualmente quiero volver porque quiero mirar otras zonas. Vamos a ver... Vamos a ir por los otros lados a ver por dónde podemos ir. Aquí están nuestros coleguitas los cocodrilos. Vale. Cuidadito. Hostia, no lo he visto, tío. Me cago en su madre. No lo he visto, tío, no lo he visto. Hostia, 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 hostia. ¿No podemos subir por ahí? O sea, he venido por aquí para nada. Mira, 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 mira. Que me enfila, ¿eh? Mira cómo me enfila. Repelente. Vale, por aquí es por donde hemos venido antes, ¿eh? Así que no podemos ir por allí entonces. Acabo de hacer el subnormal. Mira. Otra. A ver, a ver, a ver, a ver. ¿Es que no lo he cogido antes o qué esa caja? Mira cómo abre la boca, tío. SI MK22. MK22 es la... Es la pistola que llevamos. Ah, SI, es el silenciador, vale. ¿Quieres decir que hemos cogido dos entonces? Bueno, mejor. Vale. Pues nada, volvemos. Venga, ahora sí. Vale, a ver cómo nos hacemos el tema, ¿eh? Claro, tiene que ser eso, tiene que ser el silenciador. Oh, mola, tío. Snake, ¿dónde vas? Vale, hay un soldado allí. 65%. Si me tumbo, 90. Vale. Y van dos. Si le pego un viaje a este, como venga el otro, se va a liar. Pero, ¿qué cojones? Vamos a darle ya. Vale, ¿y el otro dónde coño está? Podemos coger los cuerpos, ¿no? Entiendo que sí. ¿Cómo se coge? Vale. A ver, creo que los podemos saquear. Es que no sé si es como en el 2. Podemos cogerlos por la espalda, estrangularlos, interrogarlos, pero creo que eso era bastante difícil. De hecho, lo que es estrangular. Vale, genial. El hecho de estrangularlos o de sacar información era bastante difícil. Vale, un momento. Esto a lo mejor es muy cruel lo que voy a hacer, pero... A ver. Vamos a matar, ¿no? A ver. El macho, ¿cuántos cuchillazos necesita este señor? Da igual. Vale, mira, se va a despertar todo magullado, ¿sabes? Vale, pues lo que decía, que el tema de estrangularlos era complicado y interrogarlos ya mucho más difícil. Entonces, lo que solía pasar cuando cogías a uno por la espalda era que lo degollaba directamente. Pero claro, en este juego hay un momento que tiene su consecuencia, el hecho de matar soldados. Lo suyo es no matarlos. Pero bueno. ¿Dónde está? Había otro, tío. Había otro soldado, tío. Y no sé dónde cojones está. ¿No tenemos un sonar? A ver. Sonar activo. Sensor detecta animales con ondas de sonido. Pulsa L3 para emitir ondas. Ah, y así podemos ir. Mierda. Vale, pero no viene, ¿eh? Sí, sí que viene. Sí, sí, tiene visiones, colega. Vale, vale, siga su rollo. ¿Y esto? Ah, puedes poner como cámara fija también. Hostia, qué paranoia, tío. Bueno, a este lo mismo, ¿no? Le meto un tiraco. Perfecto. Ah, coño, si tengo aquí el sonar a la derecha. Madre mía, tío. Estoy... De verdad, estoy hecho polvo, ¿eh? Y encima es pequeño, ¿sabes? Vale, acabo de ver algo colgando en los árboles. Habían avisperos. Pero eso no sé si son avisperos, tío. Y gente, lo mismo soy un poco pesado con el tema de explorar y coger objetos y tal, pero es que esto es supervivencia pura y dura. A ver, ¿estos son cocos? Bueno, cocos, no, ¿cómo vas a ser cocos? ¿Qué es? ¿Fruta? Vale, vale, vamos a cogerlo. Lo que pasa es que estoy gastando balas a full. Vale, ¿no? Mierda. Oh, cuidado, cuidado, cuidado. Se va a llevar otro tiraco. Buenísima. Madre mía, le he hundido el pecho, tío, pobrecillo. Vale, venga, ven aquí. Pero tampoco lo voy a hacer absolutamente con todos, pero... No me he fijado si sale el enemigo en el radar. Solo vamos cogiendo cositas. Perfecto. Venga, va. He visto un árbol donde podíamos subir. A ver. ¿Dónde lo he visto? Lo he visto por aquí. Tampoco sé cuánto rato tardan en despertarse esta gente, ¿eh? Sube, tío. ¿Y esto para qué? A ver, esto es fruta, ¿no? Mira, limones. No puedo hacer nada. Hacen dos huevos, tío. Vale. Tengo ganas de jugar al remake, de esto. Tiene que molar un huevo. Mira, 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 otro. No salen, en el radar. Te marca, creo que te marca el norte, pero no. Esa rayita creo que te marca el norte, pero no te marca el enemigo, ¿eh? Vale, parece que está solo. Así que vamos a pegarle un viaje. Eric, ahora está aquí. Tiraco. Me voy a meter directamente en las plantas y fuera. Y lo que me dé tú. Venga, a dormir. Aquí hay algo. Térmica. Gafas térmicas. Visualiza la distribución del calor. Permiten ver en la oscuridad. Al utilizarlas, gastan pilas. Vale, y las pilas creo que se podían fabricar cogiendo unas setas. Es que de este tengo bastantes recuerdos, la verdad. Creo que tenías que coger unas setas que eran como fosforescentes o algo así. Seguro. Oh, mola, tío. Esto es. Esta es la buena. Esa cara. Dios, esa risa súper forzada, tío. A ver, aquí la movida es que, vale, muy bien, yo puedo dispararle a esto. Bueno, va, vamos a hacerlo a full. Yo puedo hacer esto. Pero claro, el pavo este no está solo, ¿sabes? ¿Le he dado el panal? ¿O le he dado otra cosa? Le he dado otra cosa, tío. ¿Dónde coño está el panal? ¿Dónde está? No lo veo, tío. No, no, le he dado una fruta, no, no el panal de avispas, tío. De hecho, estoy viendo ahí un muñeco. A ver, le puedo dar. Mira, vienen dos soldados por el puente, ¿eh? Oye, ¿dónde está? Necesito ver dónde coño está el panal. Porque se acercan, tío. Se acercan y quiero darle. Míralo, tío. Hola, estoy cegato, ¿eh? Vale, va, que vengan, que vengan. Ahí está, ahí está. Verás tú la que se va a liar. Bueno, vale, le doy ya, vamos, va. Buenísimo, tío. Buenísimo. Vale, perfecto. Ahora para cruzar el puente tenemos que ir con mucho cuidado. No hay nada por aquí, ¿no? Tenemos que ir con mucho cuidado porque esto se mueve una barbaridad. Y luego por aquí había algo. ¿Veis ahí a la izquierda que hay como una especie de cordillera? Esto si vas andando así no hay ningún problema, pero si vas rápido se empieza a mover el puente que da gusto. Vale, pues si vamos por aquí... No sé si es por aquí ahora, ¿eh? No, por aquí no es. O sea, es ahí donde está el objeto, pero... Pero creo que se baja por aquí. Por aquí, por aquí, por aquí, por aquí, por aquí, por aquí. Y creo que aquí hay un rifle que nos va a venir de puta madre. Venga, va, cuidado. XM16E1. Sujétala en primera persona y apunta con L1 desde el hombro. Alterna tipo de disparo con triángulo. Y quita y pone silenciador con X. Ojo, ojo. Balas y pastillotes para relajarnos. Vale, perfecto. Rifle de la hostia, Lo único que, claro, con el rifle sí que matamos a la gente. Vale, vamos a quitarnos el radar. Y ahora por aquí. Ojo, ojo que vienen, que vienen, que vienen, que vienen, que vienen. Cuidado. Menos mal que los he visto, tío. Mira, mira, ahí vienen, Hostia, son unos cuantos, ojo. Mira, mira dónde hay uno. Mierda, se nos ha liado un poco el tema, ¿eh? ¿Para cruzar el puente o qué? Es que una serpiente somos una rata, ¿eh? Es que claro, si le pego un viaje a este... O lo mismo podemos huir sin que nos vean, tío. Mira, 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 por ahí van. Vale, aquí hay dos, ¿eh? No, coño, joder, qué sensible el gatillo. Vale, tenemos aquí a dos julapas. Vamos a tumbarnos. ¿Puedo poner la cámara en tercera persona? No. Esta cámara me mola más. Vale, en cuanto se giren, nos vamos a ir por ese camino. Pero vamos, volando, ¿eh? Cuidadito, 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 cuidadito. Vale, de energía ya se nos ha consumido una barra. Venga, va, vamos a darle ya. Vamos arrastrándonos, ¿no? ¡Buah! ¿No ha visto? Snake, tira, 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 tira. Sí, sí, están viendo visiones totalmente. Nos hemos dejado ahí unas setas, ¿eh? Vale, genial, genial, tío, genial, genial. Buenísima, buenísima. Vale, ya estamos. Estamos donde Sokolov ya, ¿eh? La radio.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
La radio cunde jodérselas. Para que no puedan
Your
comunicarse.
objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Venga, va. Vale. A ver cómo nos hacemos esto, tío. Cuidadito, ¿eh? Cuidadito, cuidadito. Ha dicho en la parte noreste, puede ser. Tampoco sé cuántos guardias hay, tío. ¿De qué depende cuando te agachas? ¿Se pone en primera persona? ¿De qué depende que se cambie a tercera persona? Porque se cambia como solo, tío. ¿Qué hacemos? Lo ventilamos a ese, pero claro. Tío, me va a ver. Eric, cuidado, cuidado. Tío. ¿Qué? Al cuello. Vale, el otro está bastante lejos, ¿eh? Venga, va, levanta, levanta, tío, levanta. Levanta y llévatelo de aquí ya. ¿Eso que se oye? ¿Que es un mono, tío? ¿Qué coño es? Mira, viene, viene, viene. A dormir. Buah, es que vamos a tope, ¿eh? Cartucho lleno. Y el fusil que tenemos... Claro, la movida es que no es silenciador. ¿Esto es la bala? ¿Es una bala, tío? Lo que hay ahí. ¿Qué hacemos, tío? Le damos, ¿no? También. Joder, tío, ¿en serio? Vale, no hay más peña, ¿no? Oigo pasos. No sé si lo oís vosotros, pero oigo pasos, tío. Vale, me lo llevo a este, ¿eh? Venga, ven aquí. Y recordar que había bastante vigilancia por aquí. Vale, la chaf de puta madre. Oigo pasos, tío. Joder, con el puto mono ese. A lo mejor son animales. Ah, mira, ahí hay uno. Vale, y el pavo este, o sea, Sokolov está allí. Vale, es una serpiente lo que se oye. Mira, 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 mira. Me va a morder. Estate quieta. Estate quieta, tía. Estate quieta. Vale, buena, buena, buena. Bien, 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 bien. Vale, podemos pasar por debajo. Cuidado, ¿eh? ¿Pero lo ventilamos a este o qué? Mierda. Oigo pasos. Yo no quiero que me pillen. ¿Puedo pasar por aquí? Sí. Vale, a ver si viene por aquí. Buah, tío, cuidado, que nos pueden ver, ¿eh? ¿Y si me pongo otro camuflaje aquí? A ver. Camuflaje. Uniforme. Este nos da +15. Vale. Vale, 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 vale. Claro, porque estamos en una zona así como rojiza, ¿no? Resplandor, vale. Cómo mola, tío. Es que verás tú que me asomo y sale el capullo este por algún lado, tío. Mira, 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 mira. ¿Qué hago? ¿Le meto o qué? Buenísimo. Mierda. ¿Quién me ha visto? ¿Quién me ha visto, tío? Sí, sí, sí. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde coño está, tío? ¿Dónde está, tío, el que ha dicho eso? Mierda. Lo tengo por aquí, ¿eh? Está por aquí cerca, pero no lo veo, tío. Hola, hola, mira, 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 mira. Guau, 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 guau. Vámonos de aquí, vámonos de aquí. Guau, guau, guau. Cuidado, 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 cuidado. Camuflate, camuflate, ya. Camuflaje. Este, ¿vale? Y la cara, bosque era, ¿no? Sí, vale. Guau, tío, qué cerca. Vale. Joder, tío, es que estamos rodeados, ¿eh? Es que no quiero que me pillen, tío. No quiero que me pillen en ningún momento. Mierda. Hay uno por aquí a la derecha. Joder, con las putas serpientes, tío. Y te lo he dicho. Vale, de momento, al que hemos dormido no lo han visto, ¿eh? Otra serpiente. Cago en Dios. Ya vamos a tope. Joder, macho, qué sensible el gatillo, tío. Vale, si me levanto, salgo por aquí arriba, ¿eh? No, no salgo por aquí. Mira, 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 mira. Aquí hay una trampilla. Ah, vale, será desde arriba. Joder, qué movida, tío. Que no quiero el sonar, hostia. ¡Ul! Buena. Creo que hay alguien arriba, ¿eh? Creo que es el que nos ha visto antes. Cuidadito, cuidadito, cuidadito. Vale, creo que está aquí. El Sokolov. Y a este me lo quiero ventilar, tío. Cuidado, cuidado, cuidado. Me lo quiero ventilar a este. A lo mejor no hace falta, ¿eh? No, no, baja, tío, baja. A ver si pasa por aquí. Si no me descuelgo ya está. Yo diría que está aquí, ¿eh? Sí, de hecho hay una puerta ahí. Yo creo que es... Creo que está ahí. Mira, 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 mira. Mira, me voy a pegar un viaje en la pierna. Tardará en dormirse, pero se dormirá.
It's just my imagination.
¿Cómo puedo quitar? Ah, amigo. Vale, vale, vale. Ya está, ya le he pillado el rollo. Venga, va, vete de ahí, tío, vete. ¿No se duerme o qué? Ahora. Vale, lo tenemos, sí, señor. En verdad no hacía falta, creo, dormir a ese, pero bueno. Míralo. Vale, está quemando el... O sea, los planos, ¿no? De la arma esta.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power.
Vale. Y la peña te coge y te cuenta la movida en un momento, ¿eh? Es de agradecer.
The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
¿Cómo se aguantaban los monóculos estos, tío? Haciendo todo el rato así,
By the way,
frunciendo el ceño.
your
¿O
Russian
cómo?
is superb.
Me lo he preguntado muchas veces.
Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Raro eso, ¿no?
Having second thoughts.
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Vaya chupa que lleva aquí, ¿eh? El Sokolov este. Venga, chicos. Hay que moverse.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
No one spotted me.
I
Por
see.
suerte.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Dimos la señal, ¿eh? ¿Qué hace el pavo? ¿Decía un kamehameha o qué era eso? La cabecita por ahí, ¿eh?
Freeze!
Somos rumanos peligrosos.
So this is the legendary boss. Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. Huh. What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Flipaos, tío.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Todo el hombro, ¿eh? No, ¿por qué no reacciona a los demás? Ha hecho a una velocidad increíble.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
¿Y eso? No me acordaba de eso, tío. ¿Qué es esa llamada? Guau, me ha sobrado muchísimo, ¿eh? Dios, qué dolor. Estoy por editarlo y todo.
That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Ah, bringao. Pero tío, este pavo es tonto, ¿qué?
Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
Lleva la de dardos, ¿no? Lleva la de dardos, creo. Sí, sí. Sí, sí, le ha clavado un dardo. Míralo. Mira, chaval. Buah, entró el boquino, ¿eh? La bala. Guapísimo, tío. O sea, es una flipada, pero mola, mola mucho.
Impossible. You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
Madre mía, chaval. Ahora me he acordado una cosa.
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
A dormir. Venga, y ahora charlita.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov, too. Apparently, they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
Ahora mismito. Vale. Vale, gente, a ver, os quiero comentar una cosa. Quiero hacer algo, más que nada para verlo, porque yo lo he escuchado, pero no lo he llegado a ver. Y es que podemos matar a Ocelo, pero claro, si lo matamos pasa una movida. Entonces, voy a guardar y lo hacemos, ¿vale? A ver. Vamos a guardar.
Saving the game, Snake?
Yes.
Snake, do you know the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Nope, never heard of it.
These scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black Lagoon, and they get picked off one after the other by this fishman thing. And there was this scene when the heroine is going for a swim, and the creature sneaks up on her from underwater. Oh, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, of course, the 3D effects in It Came from Outer Space were a lot more intense, but...
It wouldn't be referring to you coming from outer space, would it?
How rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming as you.
Bueno.
Fine. I'll just get to the point, Snake.
Bueno.
Be careful of what's around you when you're in the water. Just imagining you swimming in those jungle rivers makes me think of you being attacked by a fishman.
Si un hombre pez.
I appreciate the concern.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful out there.
Okay.
And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim, either.
Are you calling me a fishman?
You started it.
Sí, pez polla me va a atacar. Vale, lo que os decía. Vamos a ver, vamos a matar a este señor. No sé si con el cuchillo o... A ver, un segundo. Es que claro, a cuchillazos lo mismo tardamos un cojón, ¿sabes? Sí, se puede. A lo mejor tengo que estar aquí 4 años. Vale, lo hemos matado. Ocelot is there. Continuar.
You created a time paradox. Snake, you can't go changing the future like that.
Estas cosas molan, tío. Vale, creo que ya está. Creo que no pasa nada más. Continuar. Ah, bueno, mira, no hacía falta guardar. Ya directamente te carga aquí. Vale, pues era más que nada para verlo. Si iré mirando curiosidades y si me acuerdo, las comparto con vosotros también para que lo veamos todos. Vale, pues no veas la que se ha liado aquí en un momento, ¿eh? En principio aquí no debería de haber nadie por los alrededores. ¿Y nuestro colega dónde coño está, tío? Creo que nos tenemos que ir directamente. Nos tenemos que ir. Qué bueno, tío. Vamos. Dolinovodno. Venga, otra película.
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
Ojito, R1.
That's what they were making you build.
Yes. The Shagohod.
Shagohod.
The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo.
Está guapo,
Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2.
O sea, está por la mitad,
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war.
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Verás tú. Parece a mí que lo va a tener chungo este hombre. La putada es que por cojones tienen que pasar por el puente, no les queda otra. De hecho, el puente se puede romper. O sea, podemos romper las cuerdas del puente. Esta es de Bosch, mira. Este está flipando, ¿sabes? ¿Cómo? ¿Tú no estás en un submarino? De Bosch.
Boss?
Qué puta, ¿eh?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Lo ha dicho antes, que no tiene bandos.
Hornets.
Con la paranoia, ¿eh?
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more.
Este el
Welcome
10.
back, boss.
Dios,
Now
qué
that
asco.
all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
Creo que los Cobra eran un grupo especial que luchó en la Segunda Guerra Mundial o algo así. Creo que lo dice al principio del juego.
It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Mira este. El fantasmico este. Holguín.
Kuwabara, Kuwabara.
Guavara, este era para evitar las tormentas o algo así. O la lluvia.
Joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Madre mía, tienen la cara como un mapa esta gente, ¿eh?
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be
Un
happening.
bueno regalo.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
Hostia, se la ha desmontado, tío. Le ha desmontado la pistola, ¿verdad? Cómo mola. Qué dolor, ¿no?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished.
¿Son balas?
Die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
Está todo guapo este juego, tío. Combate, sí que es cierto que entre escenas son un poco lentas las escenas, un poco raro. Y ahí le quita la bandana.
The new blood has been rejected.
Una pena, en verdad.
Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
¿No les molesta el arnés este que llevan? Que le pasa por los huevos, tío. A ella aún, pero a los tíos. Guau, con el brazo ya ves, tío. El brazo hecho un chicle, ¿sabes? Dios. Jodidísimo. No estoy para nadie.
Snake, can
Ah,
you
sí,
hear
sí,
me?
lo ha cogido, lo ha cogido.
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move?
No, gilipollas.
You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go.
Ahí va el qué.
First, open the survival viewer with the start button.
Vale.
If you select cure, you can start the treatment.
Esto
Healing
está
is
guapo,
divided
¿no?
into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button.
Vale.
Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the
Nada.
healing cursor with the left stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left stick to select the medical item and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely.
Vale.
Understood?
Sí, sí. Venga, deja de
Stay
darme la
with
chapa.
me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Vale, va. A ver cómo lo hacemos. Mirar cómo está el colega, tío. He hecho una puta mierda. Vale. A ver. Cura. Corte. Estado. Sufres corte muy profundo sangrando. Muy profundo, sangrando. No se ha colocado una venda. Todavía no se ha desinfectado. Vale, pues desinfectar, ¿no? Con el puro, ¿no? Ungüento, vale. Desinfectar. ¿Vale? Desinfectar se utiliza para tratar cortes y heridas de disparo. Pulsa X para aplicarlo. Sí, pero... vale. ¿Qué pasa aquí? Vale, y ahora venda, ¿puede ser? Tablilla, venda. Vale. Creo que lo hemos hecho, ¿no? Vale, corte. O sea, este está. Cura el 39%. Vale, ahora queda este. Lo mismo. Desinfectante. Y venda. Vale. No sé si me queda algo más en estos puntos, ¿eh? Porque aún sale. ¿Qué quedará? ¿Sutura? Vale. Vale, vale, sutura. ¿Y lo último? ¿Esto? Vale, perfecto. Y este también. Vale. Ahora vamos a este. Este lo mismo. Este es desinfectante. Sutura, entiendo. Vale. O sea, el orden, por lo que veo, da igual, ¿eh? Venda. ¿Y esto? Eficaz para tratar cortes y heridas de disparo. Pulsa para aplicarlo para detener la hemorragia. Lo hemos hecho totalmente desordenado, pero bueno. Hueso roto, ojo. Este sería... hueso roto sería tablilla, ¿no? Esto. Venda. ¿Vale? Otro corte. ¿Qué habíamos dicho? Desinfectante. Esto. Venda. Uf, no. Sutura, bueno, da igual. Y hueso roto. No se ha colocado. No se ha colocado una venda. Vale. Con tablilla y venda. Vale, perfecto. Bueno, esto es un poco. Yo creo que es un poco simbólico, ¿eh? He seguido el orden que me ha salido de los cojones, tal cual. Ah, chaval. Dios. Qué dolor. Ay, ay. Un auténtico survivor, ¿eh? Y no ahora la peña, mucho rollo, mucho CrossFit, mucha historia, pero no, esto. Y la bandana, que la usa de cabestrillo. Qué grande.
Good job, Snake.
Buenísimo.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Fulton.
Shagohod.
Visto. Más de uno acaba así a las 6 de la mañana, ¿eh? Un domingo. Este todo rayado, ¿sabes? Con lo que le ha dicho. Ah, es verdad, creo que pega un pepinazo ahora este, es verdad.
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
Y esta es Eva, creo.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Yo es que le puse en la boca.
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her.
Como si fuera un cacho carne, ¿eh?
Not so fast, my dear.
Cuidadito, cuidadito.
A kiss of death.
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
El nota, ¿sabes? Por la cara va a lanzar esto porque sí,
Even
¿no?
if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Venga, pepinazo. Ya ves tú, la base esa que está hecha una puta mierda. castaña, ¿eh? Vale, gente, pues... Vale. Ahora era... Vale, que esto era como un prólogo. Dejamos el temazo y cuando acabe, acabamos capítulo. Esto es muy 007, ¿eh?
Darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart. But you're so supreme. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
No es la serpiente, ¿eh?
Someday you go through the rain, and someday you feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life not for honor, but for you.
Temazo, ¿eh? Temazo, temazo.
There'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Mira. Oh, mola, tío. Vale, gente, pues hasta aquí el capítulo.